guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Brittany Xavier, and today I'm going to be talking about a social detox I did over this past week. My husband and I went to Arrowhead. We wanted to just take a break, get off social media, watch my Netflix, watch movies, exercise. We ate really healthy. But the one thing I didn't want to do is be scrolling that week, and I also didn't want to be doing a room tour or trying to film while I was up there. Like usually when I'm on vacation, so much of my life is my work in a way. So I really wanted to just take a vacation and not do anything work related, which for me is being on social media. So I wanted to take a full break from work. In order to do that, I didn't want to go fully away from posting on my blog or having Insta stories that we already had planned. We worked to plan for this detox. So I planned everything out the week before, what I wanted to post on my Instagram. We had it all drafted, and my assistant Marie was able to go in and just post during that week. But I technically wasn't on my phone. So there were a few takeaways after the week that I really thought was very beneficial, and it's something I want to do whenever I can, or I want to do it again during probably around the holidays, but definitely want to do it again during August because it's the month for me before Fashion Week and Fashion Month for me, which is very busy. I'm not home very much during September. So having that August downtime before Jaden starts school again was a really important timing situation for me. So one of the main things was getting out of that habit of constantly scrolling. It was interesting because typically I do scroll Instagram when I'm bored. Sometimes even during the day if I'm on my computer and something's stalling, I'll just do that as a quick habit. And I've noticed that during that week that we took that detox, I wasn't able to have that random scroll. And I still had my phone, obviously, because I needed Google Maps and we needed food recommendations where we were. I wasn't going anti-electronics, but I did delete the app so I wouldn't have that, that just like reaction to scroll. Like I said, I didn't even know I would do it on sometimes. Like we'd be at a red light and Anthony would be driving and I would just be like, oh yeah, I don't have the app. Like I wasn't taking away from other times when I noticed I would scroll. It was almost on times where I was like waiting for something, waiting for a food order somewhere. It just took away that habit of doing it. I think it was good for my eyesight because you're constantly looking down at your phone. Also, I was getting a little bit burnt out before, so having that like break of not shooting new pictures and not trying to talk and do stories every day and not have to record where I was doing. Like usually I want to tell you guys where we're eating or what any cool things I found along the way, and just knowing I was up there not to do that took off that huge pressure of just living. And I didn't wash my hair for a week. I didn't wear makeup for a week. I didn't really care what was going on, or it was definitely a different mindset for me. I think that just the mental break is really good. Any job you're at, you always need that wherever you are. So it's always nice to schedule that, and especially if you do work on a computer a lot or you're in social media where you're constantly interacting online. Another really good takeaway that I noticed that I didn't think would even pop up, but I did notice that through that week, I didn't have any sense because I wasn't checking out what anyone was doing. I wasn't watching anyone's stories. So I had no idea really what was going on besides my NPR apps, which obviously I knew like what was happening with the world news. But as far as like social or all my friends, didn't know really what they were doing. That was interesting because I do notice that I compare myself a lot when you don't even know you're doing it. I don't even know how to explain it because it's weird because I don't really think I do it. And I don't feel like that's an area that I've ever struggled with, where it's like, oh, I constantly look at social media. And a lot of people say it's like a negative impact where they look at other people and they feel, I don't know, negative from it, but I've never really had that experience from social media. I feel like I've always had a very healthy mindset about it and a realistic expectation about it. But this week I did notice that because I was so tuned out of everything, it was really nice to take that break from you do compare, even if you don't even think you're doing it. And sometimes over this week, I would think that, I was having a little bit of FOMO because I was thinking maybe I'm not doing enough this week. Should I even be chilling out? Like this is not, I should be doing more. I should be doing be much more productive. I was being productive mentally, and physically, but as far as work-wise, I felt like I was really taking a step back and taking myself out of any events or any meetings I could have been doing or any travel opportunities. I just said no to everything that week. So many times I don't even realize that I'm having FOMO, and I do feel guilty sometimes because so much of my life is work, and I work from home. We have our office, but a lot of the times the things I'm doing on a day-to-day basis are from home, and I always feel like I could be doing more. So if I'm reading a book or if I'm sometimes exercising, I even feel like that's taking away from something else I could be doing. I don't know, sometimes I'm very business focused in that sense where it's very hard for me to take a step back sometimes. just focus on what really matters. And that was really nice for me this week because it did make me feel like I don't need to be at everything. I really have a great mindset going into Fashion Month, which I feel so less. Sometimes I get a little bit of anxiety about it because it's so much in that month, and I love the brands, I love doing it all, but it's like, that's the thing. It's like doing it all is what really wears me down. So it's so nice to have that shift before going in and just being really selective this season and focusing on shooting the things that I want to really do, being really creative while I'm there, not being run down and feeling, you know, a little overwhelmed. So that was really nice this week that I discovered that, because it's something that I didn't even think that was going to come up. And it was conversations that me and Anthony had a lot about, just like, why do I feel that way sometimes when I feel really overwhelmed? I think it's just like always the constant having to like check in. So sometimes I think it affects me and I don't even realize it does, because I'm like, well, I love my life. Like, I love my work schedule. I make my own schedule. There's so many pros, but there's so many, I think there's also cons, because it's so much of anyone who runs their own business would feel this way, because you want to always do more because it's in your control. Versus when I worked in my office, I clocked out and I was like, well, I don't even have email on my phone, so I can't even do anything until I get back in the next day. So that was a totally different mindset that I had for then working for myself. But I do feel like even if you're not on social media, like even Jaden, she's 12 and she has an Instagram, but I do like her to step away too and just say, you know what, you don't need to be watching everyone's stories all the time. You can just chill out for a little bit and recharge and refocus on what you like to do, what your hobbies are besides on being online. So I think that's really good for her to keep that perspective. And obviously I enforce that a little bit more on her because she is a lot younger. But so long story short, just don't feel the FOMO. Focus on what you're doing well in and really excel in the areas that you want to work on. Doesn't mean you should be lazy and sit around and be like, oh, well, I don't need to be doing anything. Like, shouldn't be comparing myself to others. No, I think that competitiveness is sometimes really healthy. You want to be doing well and you want to be the best of whatever industry you're in. So I think that's fine to be like a healthy competitiveness, but not that anxiety from FOMO that it presents where you're feeling gross about yourself, because that's not what it's intended for. So I think just really keeping that perspective, and at the end of the day, like, it's just social media. Like, it sounds crazy, but there was a time when we didn't have it. So another aspect of the social detox that was really important that also didn't realize that we would notice it so much is Anthony and my husband works with me on everything. So we're together a lot of the time. Most of the time, we're usually either shooting something, working on something, brainstorming, having conference calls. We're constantly talking about something work related. I mean, I didn't shoot any new content. We didn't talk about anything. We didn't map out anything to do while we were anywhere. So that was a little different.
I realized we had nothing in common.
What if I put your face up like this? Have people do that? I'm like, here's my husband. We had so much fun this week. We watched Hallmark Murder Mysteries every night. I love. He got really into it. But yeah, we had so much fun just hanging out and not doing anything. He was able to have a lot of free time on his own too. And that was really important because we just needed to recharge like that too. Again, going into a very busy month where we're both traveling together. A lot of the times we're like high strung because we're sometimes low on sleep and you're running around a lot. I just feel like having this break really reset us for this next upcoming month we have and put us in like a very healthy mindset for getting us ready for that, and just knowing that we can have fun outside of work. And I mean, we dated and were married before we even started this. So it's not like it's something that we've always done and had no idea that we, had anything in common. But sometimes you lose that when you're constantly with someone. You get annoyed with each other because, we're working on deadlines a lot of the time. And I'm like, hurry, fix this, do this. Or I'm definitely a micromanager a little bit. But we love each other. But yeah, we're definitely in for the long haul.
But it is nice because even if you keep on going and like just nonstop, you have to remember that, your marriage relationship, you still need to nurture that. You still need to work on it. I mean, we've been through a lot, and not to say we won't be through a lot more later down the line. So
but a lot's happened in 6 years since we started the blog in December. It's crazy though, because that's literally most of our marriage, because we got married in September. So it was like 3 months of being married without doing any social media.
What was that like?
I know. Literally, like on our honeymoon, we went to
Tahiti,
getting so off
Bora
track.
Bora.
But that's what we were talking about, because we didn't take any photos there really, because we took a bunch of scenery shots. I have a million shots of Bora Bora, but I have no photos of us together on the trip, or
Just
even
single ones,
or
like,
any of me
on the beach or something.
Yeah, there's like a random one of me like doing something, like smelling a flower. So yeah, I felt like that again.
Yeah.
Getting off track, but it really did feel like that. Just like, and we didn't have to go anywhere like really fancy or expensive. We just, I mean, you can even do that at home if you want to do a social detox and just, cancel plans for the week. Anything you do have to do, like say you are in the same industry, then just plan ahead and plan those things out in advance. Good to go. So I do highly recommend it. I thought it was very interesting. And my final takeaway from this whole social media experience was to never stop educating yourself. Find something that you're into, you want to learn more about. I ended up going on this whole skincare researching, something that I've been really interested in for a while, but sometimes I feel like I should be prioritizing work things more than just like this is on the side I'm interested in, but I wanted to learn more about it. Because I had more free time during this week, I was able to really dive in. I read some books on the topic. I researched a ton of articles, and Anthony did the same thing. He's been really into his drone building and he wants to get his drone license. So he took his whole kit up there and was really researching, I don't know, all that drone business, drone life. So yeah, it was really nice because we both were really just looking into things that we didn't know we were so into until we had more of that downtime. And also it's nice to read books on just growing business and like that entrepreneur mindset was really good too to read. And we're sometimes in a position where we think like we have so many things set in place, so like things are going well, how it's happening, and we have people working for us that it makes sense. But I feel like it's always good to learn. You can always be thinking about different ideas and different ways to do things, so always keep educating yourself. And also don't make Instagram or Facebook your actual news feed. Like don't get your news from there as far as world news. I hear that pretty often, that's how people get their news, and that blows my mind, because you should be well informed and you should be reading news, or just having a concept of what's happening around the world, but not just from your Instagram feed when someone posts something sad that happened or even good that happened. It's just like you should be getting your news elsewhere from a unbiased, reliable source. So those are my takeaways from Social Detox, and would love to hear if you guys have done something similar, or maybe it was less days. Would love to know in the comments below. I'll be reading those and responding. And would also love if you guys would subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. There's also a YouTube giveaway happening on my channel for my subscribers only. So if you're not subscribed, make sure you do, and read in the description because everything is in there, all the rules, and then what you would win as well. So keep you posted when that happens. And I will talk to you guys later.